Hi everyone, this is Erica of Grapefruit and Gardenia Designs and the Knit Kind podcast. I am crouching down. I didn't bring proper setup for video recording with me on vacation. I was not planning to record, but I am going to do a short video today. It is July 4th in the United States. I'm in Massachusetts. I'm going to show you what I'm working on, make an analogy, and just give space to wherever you are and whatever you need or want or don't. And I am doing it because I am inspired to continue speaking. I feel like it's necessary for people to continue speaking up, standing up, and bringing people together. And so that's what I'm going to do today. You might see my shirt. It says, I didn't grow up saying with liberty and justice for all every day to settle for anything less. I grew up in the public schools. We did the Pledge of Allegiance every day. You can have opinions about that in all the ways you want, but I'm going to take the good from it and say that I still have freedom. I still have the ability to speak up, and I'm going to do that. So we started this morning with a parade that, I'll be honest, we went and we showed up with shirts, and we weren't the only ones with shirts, and we are working on teaching the next generation that in order to be able to have freedoms, even if they have been quite imperfect for a long time, they are still in the world quite unique, and we have to preserve them together, coming together with differences, coming together with lots of emotions, all of which are extremely valid, and finding a way to get through this all together, to get past it. So here's what I'm working on, and here's my analogy. I've shown it before. This is my shawl design that's in progress for Vermont Sheep and Wool. Kind of holding it, not that it really matters, but upside down. Starts over here. And it's not red, white, and blue. It is like this beautiful, stormy blue-gray with natural and this beautiful coral color. But there's a little bit of a feeling of a red, white, and blue in there. So I thought it was appropriate. And you can see there's all these different sections. What I do, if you follow my social media, is I swatch on the needles. So I had just finished a section here where I did a swatch on the needles and looked at it, and it was a really neat stitch pattern, and it went thematically with what I'm going for with this shawl, but it wasn't at the right point in the shawl, or it might not work altogether. It might just be too busy. So if you want a little glimpse behind the scenes of how I design, that's what I did. I ripped that swatch part out. What I do when I say swatch on the needles is I'll be going, and if I want to see if the next part works, I literally will just pick a section, knit down, and either put in a lifeline or just rip back to it when I see whether or not I like that for the next section of the shawl. So lots of fun texture, lots of fun color here, and it is an asymmetric shawl that's going to have a very nice long wingspan, so no matter how you like to wear it, you will end up with plenty of room to be wrapping it around. I could end it now and have it be like almost like a shawlette, but I'm going to keep going. Make use of this beautiful farm yarn. I always talk about how I try to maximize yardage when I'm working with farm yarn. And so my plan, you can see it starts with the dominant color being this blue-gray. Then we go into a section of the coral, then coral with a pop. In between each one, we have these sections of stripes. Then a section of the natural with a texture, more stripes, and then the natural with a pop. And so if you know me and the way I like to balance my colors, you know what's probably coming next, which is that after this, there'll be a section where the dark gray is once again the one that you're seeing a lot of. And I will decide whether I'm going to do a section of that by itself and then a section with the dark gray and the corally color as a pop. But that is how I visually design, is sort of thinking about the play of the colors and the textures and what shows up. So tying that back into what we're experiencing right now in our country and in the world, there is a lot of, I'd say, complicated history. I don't want you to think that's making it sound nicer than it was. We had a lot of very ugly history in our country. And we continue to. And I acknowledge that I have privilege in my life because of the color of my skin, because of where I live in the country, because of economics, and all of that. And with what I have, I am speaking up for what I feel is right and what I can do. And so when you do this and you swatch and you've got a section that doesn't work, much like in our country and our politics right now, you rip it back and you try again. And it might not be perfect, and it might not ever be what everyone likes, but that's what we do. We rip back and we try again. And right now, in our country, depending on how you feel, different things are being ripped back and have the opportunity, I guess, to be rewritten or restitched in a way that maybe we make them better and stronger than they were before, even when right now it feels like we are completely unraveled, at least to many of us. So, so that's my fiber analogy. It's where I am. It's where I invite you to join others in craft communities, craftivist communities, in your local communities, in local politics, and national politics, not in a way that I'm getting too political. And, this is up to you. You don't have to watch these videos. And you can. And please know that what I am aiming to do is, like I said, to meet people where they are. Some people are already doing a lot of activism and speaking out and speaking up. And thank you. And I applaud you for that. And whether we see eye to eye on everything, I think, that is something that I celebrate the ability to do, and recognize that everybody can't do it in the same way. I'll continue to I encourage you to continue to make things, to do things that are positive and solution oriented. When you need a break, I should have the quote pulled up right now because, let me see. I'll see if I can pull it up and cut to it if I need to edit it a little bit. So I'm going to share this. It's not necessarily a verbatim quote with you, but my friend Annie said something to me recently, and I thought this was really an appropriate thing to share today. Today is July 4th, 2025. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of sadness. There are also a lot of celebrating the hurt that is being inflicted or going to be inflicted. And I own and acknowledge that I do have a line in the sand that that might vilify people who feel like they fully support the current administration's agenda. I am deeply, deeply upset, angry, scared for what is happening in our country. And I would like to be able to still speak with people who support things that are very different from what I support, to acknowledge what's actually happening and find a way for people to continue to have reasonable conversations about actual issues. So here's the quote. A chorus staggers breathing, so each person can rest, but the note carries on. And so wherever you are today, if you need to take a moment, or if you need to sing, or if you need to shout, or if whatever it is you need to do, we're all part of this chorus. And today I found a moment when I could share a positive message about a very difficult time, and standing with people and standing for people and standing for things that I believe in, which include freedom, liberty, justice for all. Other things I believe in: human rights, human dignity. I don't believe that we should be building camps in our country to house people in inhumane conditions. And I do believe that those are going to be used against people who are speaking up against the administration. And so I'll put that out there. And I invite you to think about that and not think people are right or wrong, but to think about the way that you feel everyone should be treated and have due process in our country and have a democracy and have courts that once again actually follow the Constitution and what that means, and to be able to again have dialogue about issues when you might see very, very differently on those issues, but to not have people go after our basic human rights, human dignity. We don't want to start locking people up in cages, which we already have done. That needs to stop. So speak up with me, make with me, be a craftivist. And if it's not your thing, that's okay too. I'm not here to judge you, even though it is hard when you see people that you know could speak up and they're not. It's hard, and that's the hardest part for me. But if that is what you need for you, I also want to respect that. So I hope we can change things for this next generation. I hope that we can make more progress again. I'm afraid we won't, but I'm going to keep trying. So I hope you are making today. I hope you continue to knit kindly and live kindly and open your eyes as wide as you can and figure out what you can do to show up for all of us in a community to make us all safer, healthier, and more hopeful. See you soon.